Good morning to you here on this Thursday. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Glad you're with us. Let's get you ready. Meteorologist Evan Irani keeping an eye on, the sun that's rising here soon.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the sky.
That's right. Looks like it's not too far away.
No,
Coming up right
sunrise is really happening as we speak.
Oh,
You can
there
see out
it
there right now.
is.
Technically 5:56, but just coming over the tops of the mountains there. This is from Booker Hill. Thank you to UC San Diego for having these cameras all across the county. Gorgeous start to the day out toward the local mountains and deserts. No cloud cover, but closer to the coastline, yeah, those clouds are definitely with us. So watch out for some of the low cloud cover to kick off the morning. That will peel back by midday. Upper 60s out by the coast today, upper 70s inland. I'll send things over to Vanessa Paz, checking in on traffic this morning.
Good morning, 6 a.m. on the dot. Let's go ahead and give you some live looks across the county. We'll start off right on the 15 at Rancho Bernardo Drive. Left top of your screen is the southbound drive. You could obviously see that things are picking up a lot more than the northbound drive this morning. Meanwhile, this is the commute if you're traveling in from the 805, hopping on the 94 West, traveling through the Golden Hill and South Park area, eventually making your way into downtown San Diego. And this is the 15 in both directions right at Felicita. That's at southbound drive as you exit the Escondido neighborhood, headed towards Rancho Bernardo, Rancho Penasquitos. We may have some minor slowing due to this crash earlier that involved some minor injuries on the right shoulder in Bay Park. This is on the 5 South right before you hit Balboa and Garnett Avenue. It was causing stop and go all the way from the 52, but it looks like the speeds are starting to improve as you make your way southbound towards Mission Bay and SeaWorld Drive. Let's go ahead and take a look quickly at some of those travel times coming in from the East County. No major issues nor delays. Anywhere between 3 to about 7 minutes for the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. Eric?
Vanessa, thanks. New video this morning showing a car that landed upside down after a crash in San Carlos, right in front of a house. Take a look at this footage here. Wow, this happened around 9:30 last night on Lake Adlin Drive at the intersection with Boulder Lake Avenue. You can see there was some damage to a telephone pole as well. Working for you right now to get information on whether anyone was hurt in this and what may have caused this crash. We'll pass along those details to you as soon as we learn them. This morning, a suspect's in custody after a San Diego police chase where an officer opened fire. No one was hurt in this, but per protocol, the sheriff's office is now investigating. Authorities say this all started around 11 a.m. yesterday near SeaWorld when the driver of a stolen vehicle refused to pull over. Officers backed off at one point, but then caught up with the car again in Fairbanks Ranch and tried to stop it from there.
They had placed a tire deflation device on the road to try to stop the vehicle safely, and the vehicle avoided the spike strips and accelerated at a high rate of speed towards the officer, who feared for a safety shot one round at the windshield.
The driver was arrested in Carmel Mountain Ranch.
This morning, new numbers from ICE showing how many people were removed from the San Diego region since January of last year.
And this data comes from a letter sent to local members of Congress. News 8's Tori Apodaca took a look at this letter this morning. What did you learn from this, Tori?
16,368. That's the number of people that ICE says that it's removed from the San Diego region since January of last year. In that data, though, it does not say what warrants they used or if any of those people had criminal backgrounds. Here, though, is a look at that data. You can see of the 16,000 plus people, 10,847 were Mexican nationals, 996 from Guatemala, 544 from Venezuela, and then smaller amounts from 116 other countries. This data coming from between January 20th, 2025 and April 1st of this year. When President Trump took office, he claimed they would be removing the, quote, worst of the worst immigrants, those with criminal backgrounds. But in the letter, ICE says that's not quite the case and said, quote, ICE enforces immigration law against all removable aliens, and the commission of violent crimes is not a prerequisite for enforcement. Being unlawfully present in the United States is itself a violation of federal law. And local Democratic Congressman Mike Levin is the one who asked for this data after he says that there was alarming ICE enforcement happening in Oceanside last summer. He says that all of this data, though, is pretty troubling, and he is going to continue to demand for more transparency. Reporting from San Diego this morning, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
All right, Tori, thank you very much. Then now this morning, nearly 24 crew members from cruise ships in San Diego are under arrest, suspected of involvement with child sexual abuse material. This comes after we asked Homeland Security about video that was taken by a passenger. Here's that video. Let's show it to you. It shows Disney cruise ship workers being detained in San Diego last month. A spokesperson says Homeland Security investigations arrested 23 crew members from multiple ships at the port of San Diego. We're told the arrests were based on information received from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Those arrested were taken to Los Angeles and their visas were revoked.
This morning, there are new concerns that the Hantavirus could be spreading after a deadly outbreak on a cruise ship. While cases are rare, the disease is known to show up here in California. News 8's Chris Groh working for you, looking into how county leaders are now tracking the virus. Starts in rodents, right, Chris?
Yeah, starts in rodents and a specific type of rodents. And the county does test regularly to see what and how many of those rodents are positive for hantavirus. Now, this is rare for humans to contract per county health officials, but it's still present in those rodents across the county at times. Now, we spoke with the doctor from Sharp that's treated hantavirus. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Hantavirus can be incredibly serious. Once you're infected with hantavirus, it can actually lead to severe and deadly disease. It can cause things like cardiogenic shock and ARDS.
That was Dr. Ahmed Salam, a pulmonary critical care doctor. He says people are infected by hantavirus when they breathe in particles from rodent feces, often in tight, enclosed spaces. So think of a garage, a shed. The symptoms are fever, fatigue, and cough, but it can get worse, and there's no cure. It can also be deadly. The last human case here in San Diego County was 2019. Routine tests, the county does conduct routine tests of wild rodents to check the presence. This year, there's been 6, which is down from 16 last year. As for that cruise ship that's brought attention to this issue, the New York Times reports that California is monitoring residents that have been on the ship, though none are showing symptoms. 3 passengers on the ship have died, and another 3 passengers suspected of infection were evacuated Wednesday. One of the passengers says they were misled about all of this.
Since we were not informed of any contagious disease, everyone was relaxed and people were not wearing masks.
And the county says that it's more prevalent in rural mice. So think about those who are maybe in a little bit more wild environment versus those who live in those urban areas of downtown, a neighborhood, and so forth that are likely to contract hantavirus. Eric and Netta?
All right. Thank you very much, Chris, for that important information there.
Yeah, nice start to the day out there. Evan, going to be pretty comfortable as we get a little closer to the weekend, huh?
Very much so. By this afternoon, we'll be right around average. We'll watch as those clouds break apart, so we're moving in that direction. But for now, clouds are quite abundant. So temperatures out the door are buoyed. Those clouds tend to act like a blanket for us, help to hold us in a slightly warmer range in that overnight stretch. So you can thank the clouds for the 50s out by the coast, the 60s. Or I'd say coming pretty soon. I mean, downtown San Diego is at 58 right now, so we're 2 degrees off. We'll likely be there in the next hour or two. 49 degrees right now in Escondido. 50s are coming close for Escondido, Alpine, Julian, all spots in the upper 40s. Borrego Springs, they are at 60 degrees. Cloud cover is abundant out there. You can make it out across the entire coast of California. For San Diego itself, our satellite is not doing the best job at showing how cloudy things really are. It's going to take another 10, 15 minutes or so for our visible satellite loop to give us a little bit more indication of it. But low clouds are notoriously difficult to get into satellite data just because of how thin they can sometimes be and how close to the ground they can be too. Today's forecast highs: 82 in Santee and El Cajon, 77 for Mira Mesa and La Mesa, 64 for La Jolla, 73 for downtown San Diego. We'll take you up to North County, looking pretty similar with the 70s. Out by the coast, some upper 60s in Encinitas, 82 for Escondido and 80 for Poway for that forecast high. Now here's that 7-day forecast. We're talking about a warming trend as we head into Mother's Day and beyond. From this afternoon all the way through Monday, we will gain another about 5 to 10 degrees, depending on where you're at, closer to that 10-degree marker out toward our local mountains and deserts. But inland, we're going to make it into the 80s beginning tomorrow and lasting all the way through next week. 85 is our warmest. There's a chance that as we get toward Monday of next week, we start to watch for heat-related alerts toward our mountains and deserts, especially where temperatures will soar into the 90s and triple digits. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic at 6:09. Good morning.
Good morning. Looks like a pretty nice warm up ahead. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's a nice drive for those using the 15 coming in from Poway southbound. This is at Drive South right at Poway Road. Let's go ahead and switch gears and see what it's looking like on the 8. This is right at Lake Murray Boulevard as you make your way westbound towards the College neighborhood. Things are rolling pretty smooth. We're at steady speeds for the most part across the region. We are seeing some slowing as you make your way in to National City this morning from Chula Vista. But again, as we approach the 6 o'clock or get into the 6 o'clock hour, I should say, those speeds are likely going to slow down, especially out of Chula Vista. We are still tracking this crash. It is active on the CAD and it is on the right shoulder in Bay Park, involving some minor injuries. It's on the 5 South as you approach Garnett coming in from maybe La Jolla or UTC. It was causing stop and go traffic from the 52 earlier, but it looks like that has since improved. And right now we're at steady speeds, but make sure that you're giving them a lane or two if you happen to pass by that crash. About a 10 to nearly 15-minute ride in from the North County this morning, about an 11-minute drive on the 5 and the 15 coming in from Oceanside and Escondido. Here's what we're seeing coming in from the East County headed west, about 3 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And if you're shooting in from the South Bay headed northbound, nice, easy drives, 10 to about 15 minutes so far. No major crashes nor delays to talk about. Under 5 minutes full span of the Coronado Bridge.